What's going on, guys? Today on Small Town Garage, I stole the Lances Suburban, and we're going to see if we can make it a little better for Ashley to drive. Alright guys, like I said in the intro, I went over to the Lance's house this morning. They went away for their 16th anniversary. That's just nuts to me, but I was thinking, we just got done with a Suburban for Ashley, okay? Eli traded his 94 OBS GMC for it, and we had to do a DOD delete on it. Had to, what else did we have to do? We had to put a new gas tank, we had to put a new fuel pump in it, because the feed lines on it were rusted through. This thing, if you had the key on, it was leaking gas. It was bad. So we took care of that. It already had some nice looking wheels on it and everything, so we just left that alone. But today is the day I've finally been waiting for. I get to play with the outside of it, because it doesn't look bad, but it's just it hasn't been properly loved on the outside in a very long time, and today we're going to give it that. All right, guys, we got the Suburban at the shop now. We got to have the ass poking out because the rest of the shop's kind of taken up right now. But you can see here, it doesn't look, on camera at first, it doesn't look that bad. But if you get closer, well, right there, it wants to look like a mirror, but this thing's covered in just little light scratches and everything. You see, she's a mom. This is her daily driver. That's about what you expect it to look like. Pretty filthy. Little parking lot scrapes and stuff. I'm going to try and do something about this. See if I have the clips that she needs for that. Over here is where things get a little fun. This was like this when she got it. I know, I was there. It was all scraped down the side. See, it goes all the way up into here. I'm going to try and do something about that. But overall, just give this thing a good loving on her. See, in the light here, you can see all the swirl marks and everything. That's what I'm going to try and get rid of. I've got a touch-up pen from AutoZone. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try and touch up stuff like that. See how that goes. And the first thing I usually like to do is spray with a little iron remover. This is nothing special. It's just iron removing spray by Meguiar's. You can get it at any auto parts store. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, they all have it. What I like to do with it, everybody says it's just for your wheels because it takes down brake dust like nothing. But I like to spray it over the whole body. Get as many contaminants off as you want. I'm just going to do that to the whole body. Then we're going to give it just your regular at-home car wash. I got a bucket with some soap in it. Got a strainer at the bottom. Then your regular wash mitt. Get the phone set up on time lapse and we'll get going. The old bourbon here all washed up a little bit. It's still got some stuff down here. It's almost like clay on it. I don't know. I'm going to come back with a rag and see if I can get that off a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to let it dry. We'll pick this up in a minute. All right. Well, the outside dries, and then I'm going to get started on the interior. And for that, I've got this stuff. I've seen it at AutoZone. And I like trying new stuff. And I know this leather is not really in the best of shape. So figured, what would it hurt? This stuff says to get turned on here. Spray it into the rag eventually. Okay. Spray it into the rag. What did I buy? Oh, man. And then just massage it into the seats. start off with this area here with both products and see how they do. I see a little bit of a difference. Oh, I really feel one. This one just feels more like clean leather, where this is just stiff as a board, where this is... Wow, that's weird. And what's it say to do with number 2 here? Okay, so what you do with this stuff, apparently it's the same thing, but you lay it on thicker and then let it absorb into the leather. This is the conditioner. Let's see if this one's going to spray right away. Yep. Just put it on the rag nice and thick. Why they don't just have you spray it straight on the seat, I'm not sure. I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy trying to make some seats look decent. Apparently, you just leave it nice and wet like that for a few minutes and let it rip. Oh boy. There's 3 rows of seats in this damn thing. It's gonna take a minute. Got the seats all treated, all the leather treated actually, which there's a lot of skinned cows inside this thing. The seats ain't ever gonna be perfect again. She'll have to get some other ones at some point. If anyone knows where the back of a seat is for an 08 Chevy Suburban, let us know. We need one. But now the body's all nice and dry. I'll come back in and clean up the door panels and the floor mats, all that off camera. But now we can get started on the body again. The next step of what I want to do on the body is give it a good old clay barn. I don't know if you guys have ever probably seen other people do these and probably walked past this a million times in the auto parts store, but I like it and it works pretty good. Now how you use a clay bar is, after you get it all washed off and everything, get as much contaminants out of it as possible manually. I'm going to take a little bit of the supplied quick detailer, just spray it on like this. Then you're going to take the clay bar, I like to smush them down a little bit, and just give it a good back and forth like this. Some people do swirls. I call those people psychopaths. But I just go back and forth. There's something in the back of the hood here. Like so. And just look at all the crud that thing picks up out of the paint. It's just nuts. And see if I can do this one-handed, but this is what you do with that. You just keep rolling it over. And somehow they just magically disappear. And after you've clay barred it, you want to take your microfiber and just give it a nice little wipe down. And you see that isn't going to be, well, these microfibers don't absorb too good, but see if you'll be able to hear it. Take my mic. Just slick. See, hear how rough that is? That's what we're trying to get rid of. I want to get that done before I start actually buffing on this thing. This seems like another time. Okay, I just clay barred the whole hood, and due to technical difficulties, did not get that on video, but God, that's so free of contaminants now. See, there's those little smegs sitting around yet, because, well, dust just happens, people. I'm sitting here in an open body shop. It's gonna happen, but honestly, I don't think I need to do much more than the hood. That iron remover really seems to take a lot of that crud off. We'll tackle this in a little bit. But that brings us to our next subject of breaking out my buffer. All right, well, I'll let air build up. I'll go ahead and explain this to you. This is my buffer. I call it Buffy the Bad Paint Slayer. Just a Napa buffer, just a rotary. It's not DA or anything, with a Velcro attachment on it. But the blue pad is what I like to use for my compound. On something like this where it's not really faded, it's just got surface scratches and ick to it. And the black pad is what I like to use for polish. As you can see, it's had its fair use. But it still works really good, so that's what I'm going to use. And when you're buffing, you don't just go around swirling like this, okay? What you're supposed to do, depending on where you're at on the vehicle, is go up and down, and then left and right. I don't know why. All I know is it works really, really good, and you can't really argue with the end results, as I'll show you guys here as soon as my air builds up. All right, we got semi-sufficient air. Go ahead and shake up the compound. If you're wondering why I taped up the windshield, that's because I have not found a way to do this without splattering it damn near everywhere. What I like to do is just put a little twirl on the pad. Then you just want to massage it in a little bit. Spread it out, keeps you from wasting material and everything. Go ahead and throw that over my shoulder. See how it goes. See, there's the up and down. Now let's just do the side to side. You gotta be careful around these tight edges like this. If you were using a wool pad, you'd probably burn straight through it into your clear coat a little bit. Go ahead and hit the top of the fender while we're here. Grab some more compound. I'm going to try and get half the hood done and try and give you guys a decent side-by-side comparison. Don't you just love buffing rust? All right. There's compound on half the hood. I'm going to grab a microfiber and just wipe that off. Despite popular belief, not everything buffs out. Let's see how much better it looks just with the compound on this side. I don't know what you guys can see, but from right here, yeah, there's still some little scratches in there and everything, just because, well, it's closing in on 20 years old. It's not going to be perfect, but my golly, is that quite a bit better if I do say so myself. I'll go ahead and wipe off this side just so you guys can see, if you can see. See how much deeper and easier to see the scratches are on this side of the hood versus this side? And this side just already feels damn near like glass. Now I'm going to go grab the polish. That's the pièce de résistance, as the French would say, when it comes to paint correction. Shake it up real good like a can of spray paint. On this, I like to be a little different. I like to apply it just to the hood itself. Don't know why, just what I've always done. But same basic practice here though. You spread it around, get it all even, all over the hood. Then we find our air hose because we don't remember where we dropped it. And then it's basically the same process. Up and down, left and right. left and right. You see this side just looks crazy. Oh my God, there you can really see it. See all the scratches in it and everything there, then just hell dent. You see, like I said, it's almost 20 years old. It's still gonna have a little stuff here and there, but for a soccer mom's daily driver, I'd call that a pretty decent improvement. Now we're going to throw some wax on this side, just because I don't think you guys want to watch me do the entire thing. But I want you guys to get the gist of what we're doing here, making it slicker and just bringing a little bit of life back into it. Now, if you guys have never waxed a car before, why are you here, for one? But two, just got good old trusty turtle wax. They're a foam applicator they send with it because why not? And what you want to do is just get you a big old glob of wax from in here. And here's where you rub it in like that in spirals. Just want to get a nice even layer across the entire half of the hood that I've buffed so far. Keep in mind, there is no part of this that is a fast process. This is something you got to take your time with. And if you're like me, you almost find it therapeutic. I don't know why. I've told people many, many times, if I could sit here with my earbuds in, just polish cars all day, I'd be a happy guy. Don't know what it is about it. I just find it really satisfying. Don't get me wrong, I'm no Hunter Clark or Kane Hatcher, but I like to think I make cars look a little better than they did when they came in. This is the part Eli can never do. He's never reached the center of this hood without a ladder. He's not here, so I gotta make the short jokes behind his back. But he'll probably watch this, so what's up, Eli? You're short. We'll let that bake in for a little bit. And we'll wipe it off here in a minute. All right, we let it bake on there for a few minutes. Get a little bit hardened. Let's see how she looks when we wipe it off. A little bit of a pain to wipe off after you let it harden, but I like to think it gives it a better protective layer when it's had a chance to bond with the clear coat a little bit. Gotta give it enough force to wipe the stuff off, but not enough to where you dent the hood. Wipe that off. I think I'm pretty much going to call it there. Wow, that looks... I wish the camera could pick up. I'm just using my damn phone, but... Look at this side and the light and everything. This side's just slick. Oh, I got my pen light. No, I don't. It's either in my Jeep, in my dad's Jeep, or in this thing somewhere. There you go. There's some light. Yeah, too close. See, the light just looks a lot crispier and cleaner. That's what we're going for. Now, just got to do the whole rest of a Suburban. Yikes. Okay, so update. Camera died during the time lapse, but I just had screwed all that charge for a little bit and carry on. So you got the wax hardening on there right now, but here's how the fender's turning out. Yeah, it's got a little dink in it. But that paint's just turning out pretty good compared to what it was. I am pretty happy with it so far. Now when we get back here to address that scrape here, I'm gonna have to turn this whole thing around because, as you can see, it's in the sun. I don't like to treat paint when it's in the sun and hot. They just don't mix together very well. So we'll get to that here after a while, but I'm gonna throw the phone back on the charger and just keep doing my therapy here. Catch you guys in a minute. This thing is turning out amazing to me. I gotta throw a coat of wax on this side, literally this whole half of it. Then I gotta turn it around and do that passenger quarter panel yet, but old Suburban's shaping up pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. I'll pick this up again tomorrow. It's getting a little late here and a little chilly, and well, Hank just doesn't like being cold. Morning, everybody. It's a new day, and we're back on the Suburban. Today, I'm going to finally try and tackle this. Got a big scratch going down there. I didn't want to break out the wool pad just yet on the back doors, but it's pretty subtle there. Back here, it's kind of hard to ignore. So today I broke out the wool pad, got my old school compound right there. We're gonna see what we can do. This thing is only for scratches like this. If I tried to use this on the rest of the panels with clear coat, it'd be nothing but swirls. This is just for getting shit like this out. Then I switched to the foam pads. I don't know if you drove through wet concrete or if someone did, but I had to scrape around every wheel well on this thing. It's for shit like that. Ridiculous. That spot right there might take a few passes. This is just weird. It's like something bounced down the side of it. Probably a tree limb or something stupid. That did the trick. That wool pad just does wonders for getting stuff like that scratch that went all the way down through here out. There's still a little bit of remnants right there, which I'm not even sure is from the same scratch, but other than that, there's just this, which is just weird. It's almost like it's down in the paint, but I'm not that concerned about it because me and Eli have been talking about fixing this rust anyway, so, but that won't come for a while, so not that worried about that. I'm just happy that scratch is gone. And if you actually do want to try this at home, you can test it on your tail lights. As you might have seen in the time lapse, I sat there and just put a couple seconds in while I was over here doing the quarter anyway. Cleared that right up. And that scratch went into the tail light, into here, and there was a big blotch right here, but all that's gone. And it's looking good now. All right, throw a coat of wax on this quarter and the whole driver's side yet. And then we'll clean up the glass and do the interior, but I've got to rewash this whole thing. That's the one downside about buffing and polishing is it throws compound everywhere. And I got to clean that up too. Okay, that is one wax Suburban. Still not a 2025, but very well presentable. I'm so happy with how this thing's turning out. I know I said I was going to rewash it, but I think I'm just going to take some glass cleaner, clean up the glass, and then quick detailer everywhere else. We'll see how this goes. She is. 2008 Chevy Suburban. As clean as she can possibly get with this clear coat still on it. See, it's still got a bunch of rock chips in the front and everything. That is the touch-up paint that AutoZone told me would match. Not quite. But we need to repaint this whole hood anyway. You can see it's got hail dents in it. Where was it? It's up there somewhere, but it's got rust and stuff. But for what it is, I am extremely happy with how it turned out. When she got this thing, it had moss and everything growing on it because it's just been sitting under a tree for God knows how long. We honestly didn't even know it had this level of metallic in it. Like, this paint is just crazy. Very unassuming, very common color, but it's really grown on me after I've scrubbed on it for 2 days. Let's go give it back to Ashley. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in this week. Gave Ashley the Suburban back yesterday, and she absolutely loves it. They're really happy to see it looking how it should look. So that's not the normal kind of content you're going to see on this channel. That was just something I really want to do for Eli and Ashley. They're two of my best friends, and love them with all my heart. And glad I could do it for them. Stick around, because next week, we're going to start on this. That's right, my most ambitious project to date. 69 Torino, R code 428 Ram Air car. I am chopping the hell out of it. We're cutting all this out, dash and all, and plopping her down on a 2000 Mercury Grand Marquis. Why? Because nobody else would have done anything with this car. This would have been a parts car, or someone would have stole the VIN from it. And I'm not all about that. And if you don't believe me, there's the VIN to this car. That's what apparently makes this shell of scrap worth something to some people. Let's see if I can get the door open here. There we go. And yes, it has the matching door tag too. There's the R. That makes this thing worth so much money. But that ain't gonna stop me. Unless someone brings me a ridiculous amount of money that I can go replace it in a heartbeat with. I could care less if it's an R code, what code it is. Since it has that roof, I want it. And you guys are about to see this thing do some wicked stuff after we get done with it. Next week on Small Town Garage.